All right, let's talk about something really important, but something we just don't talk about enough. It's called the fourth trimester. And it's that wild whirlwind time right after your baby arrives. A huge period of adjustment for them and for sure for you as new parents.
So let's just jump right in. What really happens after all the hospital hubbub is over and you walk through your own front door with this tiny new person? I mean, the cards and gifts are amazing, right? But the day-to-day reality? That can be a totally different ballgame. So we're going to break down what you can actually expect, and maybe most importantly, where you can get some help.
Tired, overwhelmed, excited, fearful, joy, confusion. Wow. I mean, that pretty much says it all, doesn't it? You can feel this incredible, soaring joy one minute, and then like paralyzing fear the next. It is such a complex emotional cocktail. And if any of that sounds familiar, I want you to know you are so not alone in this.
And just how not alone are you? Well, take a look at this number. In just 1 year, New Zealand had over 58,000 live births. That is tens of thousands of other families starting this exact same adventure, hitting the same bumps in the road, feeling the same highs and lows, pretty much at the exact same time as you.
Yeah, those first few days and weeks, they are intense. Your body is basically in recovery mode from a marathon. You're healing, whether it was a vaginal birth or a C-section where you can't even lift anything heavy. You've got after pains. You're dealing with lochia, that's the normal bleeding after birth. And then on top of all that physical stuff, you're trying to learn this whole new intricate dance of how to feed your baby. It's just a massive change on every single level.
Okay, so once you're home, your world kind of shrinks down to caring for this little one, right? So let's walk through some of the most common hurdles you might face. And I want you to think of them as just that. Hurdles, not, terrifying brick walls. They're things you can absolutely get through.
All right, first up, the big one, feeding. Now, the Ministry of Health does recommend breastfeeding, and for good reason. It's full of antibodies, it's easy for the baby to digest, all great stuff. But let's be real, it can also be really hard. You might deal with latching pain or worries about low supply. That's where bottle feeding with formula comes in. It's a really important option, especially if a baby's struggling to gain weight. And at the end of the day, it's the mother's choice. The most important thing, that your baby is fed. The right choice is whatever works for you and your family. Period.
Okay, let's talk about a word that can honestly strike fear into the heart of any new parent. Colic. So, what even is it? Well, it's basically when a perfectly healthy baby just cries and cries for hours, and you can't figure out why. The two key things you have to remember are we don't know what causes it, and it's not actually harmful to the baby. I know, it feels incredibly stressful for you, but your baby's okay.
So what can you actually do about it? Well, there are some simple, practical things you can try. Think of it like a soothing toolkit. You can try holding them close in a sling, some gentle movement like swaying or a walk with the pram, maybe some white noise or calming music. Even just holding them upright during a feed can help. It's really all about trial and error, just experimenting to find what works to comfort your little one.
Okay, let's do a quick fire round of other common newborn things that can look a bit scary but are usually totally fine. Nappy rash? Yep, pretty much every baby gets it. Newborn acne? The best thing you can do is nothing. Just leave it alone. You might also see some dry, peeling skin, or maybe a scaly patch on their head called cradle cap. Even a little yellowing of the skin, jaundice, is super common. Honestly, all of this is just a normal part of them adjusting to the world.
But look, whether it's colic or something else entirely, that sound of a baby's non-stop crying, it can push anyone to their absolute breaking point. It can make you feel so frustrated, so helpless, just completely overwhelmed. And it is so important to just acknowledge that feeling. Because what you do in that moment of overwhelm, it really matters.
So if you ever feel like you're losing your cool, there's a really simple and really vital safety plan. Please remember this. Step 1, put your baby down in a safe place, like their cot. Step 2, walk away. Just leave the room. Step 3, take a deep breath, count to 10, do whatever you need to do to reset. And step 4, don't pick your baby up again until you feel calm. Doing this is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of incredible strength, and it's the most important thing you can do to keep your baby safe.
And all of this really just points to one fundamental truth. You can't pour from an empty cup. It's an old saying, but it's never been more true. To take care of a newborn, you have to take care of yourself. Your physical health, your mental health, they aren't luxuries right now. They are absolute necessities.
So let's talk about mood changes after birth, because they are real. On one hand, you have the baby blues. This is super common. It's when you feel a bit down, maybe more tearful than usual, in that first week. It usually just passes on its own. But it's really important to know the difference between that and postnatal depression. That's a much more serious condition where that feeling of depression sticks around and it absolutely requires support and treatment.
So what makes someone more at risk for postnatal depression? Well, a few things. It could be a past history of depression, maybe some relationship troubles, or just not having a lot of support around you. Big life stresses like money or housing issues can play a part too. And notice this last one. Having a baby with ongoing challenges, like that colic we were just talking about, can be a huge trigger. Just knowing these risk factors is a really important first step.
Okay, but here is the really good news in all of this. You are not supposed to do this by yourself. You've heard the saying, it takes a village, right? Well, in New Zealand, that village is real, it's strong, and it is ready to help you. So let's look at who's in it. Your first port of call, and probably your most important one, is your lead maternity carer, or LMC. It's amazing, like 98% of women in New Zealand have one. This is your midwife, your GP, or your obstetrician, and they are funded by the government to be your guide through this whole process, from pregnancy all the way up to 6 weeks after the birth.
And what happens after those first 6 weeks? Well, the support doesn't just stop. It transitions really smoothly over to the Well Child Tamariki Order program. And this is a totally free service for all kids up to age 5. They do regular health checks and can connect you to any other support your family might need. It's designed to be this continuous chain of care.
And then, of course, there's Plunkett. I mean, they're practically a national treasure for Kiwi families. They do home visits, they run community groups, but honestly, one of the best things they offer is the Plunkett line. It's a free helpline and it's open 24/7. For those 3 a.m., is this normal moments? It is an absolute game changer, a total lifeline.
And believe it or not, your village gets even bigger. Look at all these other helping hands. Need a decent meal delivered to your door because you're too tired to cook? There's an organization for that. Having twins or triplets? There's a whole support network just for you. Need breastfeeding advice like right now? You can get on a live chat. The main takeaway here is simple. Whatever your specific challenge is, there's a good chance someone is out there ready to help.
Okay, we've talked a lot about what's normal, but it's also really, really critical to know what's not normal. There are some definite red flags that mean you need to get help immediately. So let's go through those signs right now, nice and clear.
So, if your baby has bluish lips, or their skin is blue, very yellow, or super pale, that's a call to the doctor. Same goes for yellow eyes, a red or smelly umbilical cord, a fever, or a big drop in the number of wet nappies. Repeatedly throwing up or refusing to feed several times in a row, also a red flag. Or, if they're just excessively sleepy or there's any big change in their behavior. But here's the number one rule. Trust your gut. Your parental instinct is a powerful thing. If something feels wrong, it is always better to be safe and get it checked out. Which brings us to our last and honestly our most important question for you. This whole journey, this whole 4th trimester thing, it really comes down to building your village. So I want to leave you with this thought. Who is in your village? And what's just one small thing you can do, maybe even today, to start building it or to make it even stronger? Thanks for joining us for this Explain